Welcome back to the Big Screen Boys podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Krause. But before we begin, if you guys could please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notifications. We got videos here every single week. So with that said, Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Well, what a weekend, Mason. We have an action-packed weekend.
Action-packed weekend,
For sure.
You betcha.
We're a little late on that, a week late to it, but we're JW4.
JW4, yes, sir.
John Wick Chapter 4. The final chapter is what they're telling me.
For the wiki heads who know.
For the Wiccans out there.
Yeah, the Wiccans, the JW4. But if you don't know, it is John Wick 4.
Yeah. For people that don't know, that are on the level, it's JW 4. We all know what it is. We are know.
Let's go.
It's finally here. We waited a long time. It was pushed back. We were supposed to have Keanu Reeves weekend.
We were back in
Double
2021.
Feature. What an ambitious time that was.
It really was.
People thought they were going to release Matrix. Mm-hmm. Thank God, though, because that would suck. You go to Matrix and be like, that was bad.
That would have been a snooze fest.
Yeah, and then you go to I have the most mixed feelings right now. But no, we finally got it, John Wick Chapter 4, and it's everything that it's being talked about right now. I would say everyone's saying it's one of the best action films of the decade, of the century. I don't know.
You know, in all seriousness, though, I mean, one of the things that I love about this, I took old Ken Dog, right?
Oh,
and you know, the man loves action.
Oh, yeah.
But even he said this, and I disagree with him. But he said, man, some of the scenes were just a little over the top. Like, I just couldn't
Ken Dog said this?
Ken said it. And I'm like, Ken, it's John Wick 4. It's the mystique behind him. You know, like when John falls from very high levels.
We got to talk about that. Up. That is so funny now that is canon, that John Wick does not take fall damage. No, so they are using it to its full potential. They are dropping him from high heights at this point.
Yeah, very high. And that's kind of the myth, the legend of John Wick, is the fact that he just won't die.
Well, has Ken seen the third one? He 20 stories up. He falls. He hits every single level.
Well,
it did take him a couple of years, though, to get back up.
He's a different generation. So in the theater, he'll constantly lean over and ask me questions, which I'm fine with. You know, but he was like, "What? How did he just fall?" And don't you remember John Wick 3, Ken? He fell from a building. He's like, I don't know.
No clue.
I'm getting older. It's short-term memory. But yeah, you know, the thing that I always appreciate most about these films, and it's needless to be said, is the choreography is just so amazing, and how many months these guys train to do these scenes that last minutes upon minutes.
Yeah, and every action film now is doing action like John Wick. Every film is coming out and they're doing the same style of fighting choreograph as John Wick. It just never looks as good. And every time I think I'm finally going to get bored with it, because I do get bored when other films are doing it, because it's just the same thing over and over again. But they are able to reinvent themselves every single time they do it. And the action scenes, I never get bored with these action scenes. There are action scenes I get bored with. Fast and Furious movies, I get bored with those action scenes, which is insane because something's always happening. But I get so bored, so bogged down with those things. But these ones, man, it just keeps, the intensity just keeps kicking up. There's so many good scenes. And it's just shot so well.
Yeah.
The cinematography is so damn good. And that's what separates it from other films, too. Cinematography is so good.
You know, not a lot of dialogue from the old Keanu Reeves here.
I don't need it.
No, this film is almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
And he had just 300 words said, 100 lines. That's it.
They know what we want. We're not here to see Keanu Reeves, who, let's be honest, you know, acting, not his strong point.
I would say the
Oscar winning.
The stunt work is
his charisma. People love him.
Yeah.
You know, people want to be in a room with him. He's great. No, he's mid-tier acting for sure. But for this part is perfect because he's a broken man and he can be grumbly and angry and just say one line at a time because that's his character at this point.
Yeah.
This guy's not saying a whole lot. He doesn't have a whole lot left to say. He's letting these guys do the talking, okay, you know?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Donnie Yen, the new introduction in John Wick 4, who just kills it as Kane.
Old friends, apparently, with J-Dubs 4.
Yeah.
Or John Wick,
Not big friends in this one, though. I love Donnie Yen, but man, he's just fantastic. He brings a whole nother style to John Wick. It's just so good, man. He's the best martial artist acting these days.
When I love it,
down.
Too.
He's Bruce Lee level.
Yeah. And I love
I think he's
the
better.
storyline behind his character Kane too. Is that big revelation in the film where he's like, "Man, they took your eyes from you," and he goes, "No, I gave them."
Yeah, to get out.
Yeah.
Which is such a crazy thing to be like, are we going to like handicap this guy that we might need?
Yeah, later on, because they end up needing him pretty early on.
Turns out, doesn't need the eyes at all.
Doesn't need them.
may have been even hindering him at some point. He was so fucking cool though. Those scenes were so awesome. The way they incorporated him being blind, it never felt like, even though he was doing insane things, that blind person there, it never felt like this guy can see. He always, I mean, the way he was like, whenever someone would bring him something, he would have to hit it and stuff.
Or he almost knocked over the drink when he grabbed it. Yeah. But very like authentic. Like it was like, oh, he actually is blind.
For sure. Yeah. It never came off cheesy, but using the doorbells.
That's what I wanted to bring up. That was so clever.
He's sliding around, he's whipping, he's fencing. Oh my God, dude.
Because that was the first thing I thought about. I'm like, okay, so we know he's blind. We know he's going to be a badass when the film first started. But I was thinking, sonar. But I was thinking, like, okay, how are they going to incorporate this where I'm not rolling my eyes the entire film? Exactly. And then the introduction of things like the doorbell machines and stuff. And I love it when he put the first one there. I thought they were charges for like an explosion.
Oh, me too.
Because then he was
going to level the building.
Yeah. And then he repositions it. And I'm like, what the hell are those? And then it's the reveal of the dings, the doorbell dings. And I'm like, that is so clever.
And they incorporated it perfectly into it, where again, it did not feel overused at all. I mean, he only used it in one scene, but it was him. He is 60 years old. Isn't that crazy?
It's so insane. Guy doesn't even look 60 either. I would have guessed 45.
Those punches too, man. He's delivering 20 punches in 3 seconds.
All right, sorry about that, everyone. Some technical difficulties here on set. We
are back talking about John Wick Chapter 4, of course. We were just talking about that opening scene on the horse, because remember, Chapter 3 introduced horses to the game.
It did. Some city horse, too.
Some city horses.
These are desert horses.
City horses. Desert horses are built a little different, too.
They are. They're built tough.
But he's taking guys down left and right, of course, and he gets to a guy that's like high on the council, or right, and kills that guy. And he says pretty much the entire premise of the entire movie is he's going after the high table.
Yeah.
There's no thought into this plan at all. It doesn't make any sense, really, because they all say they'll just replace the guy. You know, you kill him, they'll replace him. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's like the what's the mythological creature? You cut its head off and two more grow.
I don't know.
Hydra.
Yes, there we go. It's John Wick's Hydra. Yeah. So yeah, it's not a good plan at all, John. Everyone's telling him this. Meanwhile, Winston and the crew. Can we talk about? We got to talk about R.I.P. Lance Reddick. Somehow they knew. I don't know.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing.
Possibly they killed him. I don't know. Maybe conspiracy theory. Yeah, no. Obviously, but powerful scene.
Very powerful scene.
I mean, after knowing the fact that he passed away, of course.
Yeah, even sadder too, because my it was one of those things when I watched it, and I was like, one, super meta, super sad.
Oh yeah.
And then two, it was powerful because he's been a huge face in the John Wick franchise.
I know. And
for him to just go like that was very devastating.
And for them to not have written that after he died, but to have that in anyways. Maybe he knew.
And I like the twist too. I like the twist a lot with the hourglass, because I thought for sure they were going to kill.
Yeah. And that hourglass was so great, but it immediately made you really, really hate Billy Skarsgård's character, man, because of course he's killing Lance Reddick, who's like a fan favorite of all these. But I think that set up that villain for sure. Marquis Vincent de Graymont.
Yes, and
I thought he did a great job.
I love the villain. It was very menacing, and you knew he was trying to get to the high table because they're all quote unquote under the table.
Absolutely.
And this was his one move to actually get to that council. You know, to be like the elite of the elite.
But
it was a good storyline.
They say, John, you can't just kill everyone, because we know you can kill everyone if you could. Yeah, but. He says instead, there's, of course, the world building. Sometimes the world building is absolutely fantastic in these films. And sometimes it's like, his name is Kane because he carries a cane. But sometimes it's like, there's a duel. You got to go get your family's seal that was gone. But for them, they got to get their name back because the head of this family died, was murdered. So you got to go murder that guy. Then we'll get your seal back because you have to have a family backing you to do the duel.
Right,
that's
great.
But it's like, he's got a cane, you know.
But Oh my goodness. I love that scene with the big guy.
Oh, the guy in the obvious fat suit. The way this guy moved was
tremendous, though. It was so
a great
comedic.
scene.
It was fun. It was funny.
Scott Adkins.
Scott Adkins, yes.
The martial artist.
And it was hilarious.
Well, the scene leading up to it was funny too with the Klaus guy. I am Klaus.
Yeah. Or the card game too, right? He's like, let me guess, 5-2.
Not even that, but like,
asshole.
What's the other guy, the American guy, was a royal flush. Like, these are great hands. These are all getting great hands.
It's like, man, really good. I know. I'm like, what? John
royal
got
flush
2 pair. That's it. He's definitely gonna die.
Yeah, but 5 aces. It's not even a good way to cheat. You can't have 5 aces in the deck. It's pretty obvious.
It was 5 2s.
5 2s.
Even
5
more
2s, I mean.
obvious. Even more obvious. I mean, it's all pretty obvious, right? In a standard 52 card deck.
But that scene is great when they give him up to the Berlin guy. That was awesome. Yeah, that whole scene. I don't know why that guy was running from him. He was a badass.
He was.
The guy should have fought him with his other guys. Had a better chance.
He definitely did. Not only that, but he rocked John a couple times. Again, one of those scenes where John gets dropped
using his
100
weight.
feet. Yeah, he was. That weight will come in. A very good advantage.
And
there.
the scenes that I do like when he is falling, he's not falling in, springing up. He's falling and he is taking a lot of time to recover. When he falls from that nightclub scene, one, he's getting drenched in the water. He fell right in the spout of water. So,
and
drowning as well.
People in Berlin built different. Let me tell you, they're still partying away.
I love it.
So
People were
many
getting shot around them.
They were. And these kids are like, hey, we're here to party. This is our weekend,
have
baby.
not had enough shootings to know what to do when that happens. Because they are just unfazed by it.
When I was joking around, Ken, that was one scene where Ken was leaning over, getting irritated. He's like, why is everyone still dancing? I go, Ken, they see a lot of death.
Oh.
Okay, they're pretty used to shooting.
I mean, that for all we know in this John Wick world, every single one of them are assassins.
Exactly.
This is like maybe assassin-only nightclub. So the people dying left and right could happen every Tuesday.
It really could, yeah.
But eventually they do take off. Once things get a little hairy, they stop the club. And But yeah, I loved it. That whole scene was awesome.
Yeah, I think when the death count hit over 20, that's when people in the club were like, we should probably get out of here.
I'm tripping over bodies at this time.
Right.
I'm not having a good time anymore.
I'm slipping in blood.
Yeah.
That wasn't on the itinerary.
Tommy got winged. He got winged to the shoulder.
He certainly did.
He's putting a damper on things.
I love the end, too, when the boss gets thrown off.
That was great.
And then he's
brutal.
His face, he's pulling out his tooth, and he's like broken neck. So it's great.
But it takes a hard fall on the neck.
Oh, very hard fall. And that's a heavy man, too.
So
that's breaking.
Man. And on stairs, I believe. He fell on stairs.
He wasn't walking that one off. Let's put it that way.
That scene's great. When they go to the Osaka Continental is fucking awesome.
Beautiful, too.
Cool that's hotel. Awesome. Yeah. And we get Haruki Sanada, who's just typecasted as playing the badass Japanese guy and everything. And I love it. I don't care. And he doesn't care either.
No, he doesn't. No.
He is in if you need a crazy Japanese gangster or samurai, because he is in The Last Samurai as well.
He is. He's in a lot of samurai films.
You get this man.
I believe 47 Ronin with Keanu Reeves is
If there's if someone's whipping out a katana, this guy's on set. Okay. Okay.
He's the katana man. All right. He will do it.
This guy needs to be there and he needs to be in a scene. But he's such a badass.
He is.
That scene between him and Kane, the final showdown.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he wasn't at full 100% because he was shot at that time, but it was an awesome fight, man. 2 different styles of fighting with swords, too. Like, one was like the Chinese kung fu style, and then him was samurai, of course. So fucking cool.
And I love that element, too, in this world building of, like, John Wick, is it's like they all have their own, obviously, own culture. Own cultures,
they integrate that.
But also their own styles of fighting. Yeah, which I love. I love the arrows and stuff on top.
I was laughing out loud on a lot of this just because of how badass everything was. Is when he, what's his character's name? Koji is his name in this.
Shimazu Koji.
When all the guys are in the kitchen, they're drinking or whatever. He's like, "We have guests. Show them hospitality." And they go and give all the bows and the. It's so fucking cool, dude. It's so fucking awesome. But yeah, you're right. And how they use like the arrows instead of guns and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're taking guys out.
And I love that. I love that element of it too. It builds so much more for like these assassins and how they all do things based on, where they're at.
These high table guys though, are tough.
Tough guys. And I love the Kevlar suits too.
They have used that, because John Wick had that originally. He was like the own
Mhm.
guy. Now everyone's rocking Kevlar suits.
Yeah, it's smart. It's
You
pretty
have
smart.
to, yeah.
Well, and Ken didn't know that starting out. He was getting so mad. He's like, "How are they not getting shot?" I'm like, "They're Kevlar."
Yes.
He was like, "I don't believe
Not everyone.
that."
The only guys that have it were the high table guys
and
and
Wick.
because I love, every time they bring in a lot of SWAT guys, these guys are just gonna be dropping left and
Mhm.
right when
like flies.
yeah. But it was cool when they brought those SWAT guys in Japan and they had like all like the ninja mask and
Yeah,
stuff.
very menacing too,
yeah.
and all black as well.
And how great are these fight scenes where it's like nothing is like there's rules set in this world where it's like if they have bulletproof helmets and stuff, it's taking a lot more to kill these guys. When he's shooting them, he has to shoot them like 9 times, and he has to shoot them in the neck and areas where they're weak and stuff, and it's always consistent.
Yeah, it is, especially with the knife too. Like
Yeah.
anytime he had to knife a guy, it was always boom right into
Yep.
the neck or right into the shoulder blade.
Yeah,
where
or
that
shooting
artery's at.
him in the face
Yeah, point
multiple
blank.
times. Yeah, exactly. Those scenes are so great.
And something else I love too is this is just the afterthought of like after people are dying and stuff. I love the fact that John would go up and boom, one in the head,
Everyone,
boom,
yeah.
one in the head, because that's what you would do. You would make sure they're dead.
And so realistic, even in scenes when he's not getting shot, the details are so great of like when they're shooting happening, he's putting up his jacket immediately until even when he's not getting shot, like just it's just so great. Those details are those small details are what set apart from other action films.
And that's where you can actually believe the film, where it would be so
Yeah.
much harder to believe if you didn't have those elements to this film.
Yeah, he's not just going around and only getting shot. He's protecting his face and things because he can get shot in the face.
Yeah.
He doesn't because he's fucking
John Wick.
He's the Baba Yaga. But yeah, man, that whole Japanese scene was great. I hope there's a spinoff with his daughter, the Kira girl.
And that's because remember, Kane's like, I'll be expecting to see
of
you again.
course,
Because she wants to avenge her
in
father.
a world of Hitman. I mean, Kane, just do yourself a favor. Cut this gal down right now.
You need
She's
to.
gonna come after your daughter.
Mhm.
But I love it. I love the quick Kane build up of we didn't need much. All we needed is that he's doing it for his daughter.
Yep.
That he wasn't even supposed to be around and he was getting a little close to. But
Well, and it's a life for a life too. So if the high table calls you and you do not answer the
Yeah.
call, then it's a life for a life. And they knew the only important life in his obviously
and they're
life was his daughter.
They're pulling that card with everyone. They do it with an
Everyone.
American guy, the guy with the
Mhm.
dog, which I thought was cool. I wanted the dog in it a little bit more. I thought they could have
We
used
got some good scenes with the dog,
Yeah,
though. I
we did.
enjoyed a lot of those dog scenes, and I
Uh,
love that one moment where John actually saves the dog from
Yeah,
one of the
of
soldiers
course.
of the high table. I thought that was
Yeah.
great.
If this dog died, he would have to go on a whole nother
I know,
revenge.
another bench. Yeah.
But yeah, Shamir Anderson plays Mr. Nobody, which was the American hitman in this, which was cool because he had a revolver, he had like a Winchester gun. Everything is just I laugh out loud in these scenes because everything is so fucking over stylized and cool.
Mhm.
Everything. The fucking the mailman is dripped out. He's everything is so fucking cool, man. The homeless people look cool. It's like everything looks so fucking awesome. But I love the
It's
American
because half the homeless people are also
hitman,
assassins.
of course. Yeah.
Yes.
But I loved how he was like the American tracker. He could track anyone, and that
Mhm.
made him very valuable to the high table. But got a little too comfortable, I felt, with the high table at some point. Had to be checked.
Paid for it dearly.
Gave him lobster claws.
He did, which, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you do that to an individual. They're severely compromised now.
I know.
That scene was brutal because they showed it too. So they stab his hand, and then he's like, there are two types of men. One who only care about themselves and will pull the knife, or the one that'll bleed for the cause.
Oh
What
my
are you?
God, I know.
And he's just pulling his hand all the way
I would have just
through.
waited there all
Oh.
day. They would have to leave.
Yeah.
And once they left, I just pulled it.
Pull it.
Like, I'll do it.
Okay,
I
no
gotta
one's here,
give
no
me some
one's
hours.
looking.
Yeah. Like, give me the real money. Brutal.
Very brutal.
That guy does get some revenge, though, some light revenge.
He
And how
does.
much money he ends up getting. But
Mhm.
yeah, that was great. I thought he did a great job, though.
Yeah.
That whole I'm sure there could be a spinoff of that guy as well,
That could be. Because of obviously what we know about the film and the way that it ended, I really do feel like you could do some really cool spinoffs.
I
of
think
this
there
world.
already is some in the workings.
Oh, really?
Already, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, because they have set everything up so great. We got to talk about my favorite scene of the whole thing was when, so he finally gets the seal back, and then he gets dropped off. He has to. The duel is at a church,
Right.
Is
Because
at, like,
they
Notre
did the
Dame.
card, and I love the card thing too, where they have the tar, and whoever's got the highest number gets to choose the term
Yeah, exactly.
for whatever they want that duel to partake in.
Yeah, that was
the
super.
time,
Clancy
the place.
Brown, bring Clancy Brown in was super fucking cool
Yeah.
as like the guy who orchestrates everything.
Yes,
And
and
the guy
I love
who
him as an actor too. He is
so great.
phenomenal.
Mr.
in
Krabs.
everything.
yeah, he's wonderful. Very menacing. He's
Yes.
huge. He's gotten a little smaller in his older, but he's a fucking big guy. But yeah, I love that. So he has to go, but they don't even want him at the duel, obviously. So they're like, he won't make it to the duel. So he puts out the guy, Bill Skarsgård's character, puts out a huge bounty on him. So
26 million.
everyone in the town, and they do an awesome fucking Warriors thing where they got the DJ, and it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, inspired by the Warriors. But yeah, but he goes through this apartment building. And they introduced the Dragon's Breath, remember, from fucking Call of Duty Black Ops. Yeah. And it's the shotgun where it's the flames.
Yep.
But they do this awesome one-take shot in this apartment where it's the overhead bird's eye view shot. It is
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Mind-blowing how good this shot is.
It's awesome. That and again, this
one
is where
take. It's so fucking cool, dude.
This is where they constantly add new things into these movies.
It's
that
the
make
best
them,
shot of the whole movie. Yeah.
It is, unquestionably. It was so cool. Just going through that entire house, bird's eye view.
Going room to room. And with
Mm-hmm.
that, the new introduction of the Dragon's Breath, the flamethrower, it was so guys just being engulfed, and he was shooting one guy, going in another room, and then the guy bursting through the room, stealing flames.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
And none of these guys just dying. You know, everyone putting up a huge fucking fight. They're all assassins, so no one is just getting tagged and dropping. They're all putting up a huge fight, but it was the best choreographed shot of the entire film. It was so well done. It was incredible. Amazing.
It really is amazing too. And just like how long a film like this takes, because every single action scene we're talking about,
those car scenes and the traffic too,
amount of choreography. I mean, so much go into these. I was on set for like this little, like it was Without a Paddle 2, and we had this very, very small stunt choreography where it's like, oh, the bully, I get punched, and then I punch the kid.
Yeah, do a million times.
Like, where like I got it, but you know, some of them weren't as athletic, didn't understand it. But it took 2 hours to do that. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you got something like this.
Oh, it takes,
I mean, they take months on months to train for this, man.
Yeah.
And to remember every little piece of choreography that goes into these is literally mind blowing.
Well, there was a quote from the director. He said that shot at the end where John is looking up at the stairs, he's like, that was 50% John Wick, 50% Keanu Reeves going, what the fuck did I do again? Like, how did they convince me to do another one of these?
And I love that.
So much work.
I love that stair scene too, man.
I was laughing so hard when he fell down those stairs. Like, those bits don't always land for me, but it landed.
And it landed in the theater too. A lot of people were laughing about it. A lot of them had a lot of fun.
I was laughing. It took him so long to get those stairs and then to fall down. It was so
all the way down after working that hard. And I thought for sure he wasn't going to make it.
I really thought he was going to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Get up, John.
244 stairs. That's a lot of stairs.
He did it for Winston.
He did.
You know, Winston put his life on the line.
Well, and then Kane told him, you need to get up on those stairs. And I'm thinking, okay. And he's like, okay, we're even now. As soon as they got to the top, you know.
And then the sword through the hand, though.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because he knows he needs an advantage because he's probably not going to beat him with no eyes. I mean, Kane is great, but I love that, and he took out his shooting hand. Mm-hmm. It was so smart. Such a quick fucking little slice too.
Yeah,
through the hand. How painful! He just walks it off.
Yeah, just nothing. I mean, at this point, this man's been through so much.
He did fall down 40 flights of stairs about 2 seconds prior to that, so there's a lot of shit going on.
But, a lot of bumps and bruises.
But that was great, man. The choreography was just so fucking good, as usual. I never got bored through any of the fight scenes.
No, neither did I.
Like that.
That's actually when I was like most awake.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously, because it's a John Wick film. But there were times where I was like, you know, because it's a 3-hour film. And then any of the time the action started kicking up, I just got all excited, sat up in my seat and everything. Oh, let's talk about the ending, the end sequence, the duel.
Yeah.
Which I loved this. I had a feeling it was going to go this way. It was a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. But I love the 30 paces. They both hit each other. Then it's
every
20
time,
paces. Yeah, they hit each other. And then I forget the exact dialogue, but it's between Kane and John Wick. but there was a nod there where you knew just based on the dialogue that something was going to happen.
Well, you knew that Skarsgård wasn't going to get away with this.
Of course
at
not.
all.
But I really thought they were both going to shoot simultaneously at him. But
it was well written enough to where they had to do it to where he did win,
Right.
so he can, because he had to say, "Okay, Kane, your daughter's free now," right? He had to say that, so he couldn't kill him before he let him free.
Mhm.
But yeah, perfect timing. He didn't shoot his bullet.
Nope.
Yeah,
And I love that because I caught that immediately to Ken. I leaned over. I said, John didn't shoot his gun. He goes, what? I
Oh,
go,
yeah.
He didn't shoot his gun on the last one.
Well,
And then obviously you get the arrogance of Skarsgård.
I know, and that scene felt so organic when Skarsgård says something to Donnie Yen, and he goes, "Fuck off."
Yeah, fuck, yeah. He's like, don't
So
forget
mad
it.
at him at
Yeah,
this
right
point.
before the duel, he's like,
so
don't
fed-
forget
yeah.
about your daughter. He's like, fuck off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like improv. Like
Mhm.
he was just so fed up with them at this point. But yeah, great scene. I mean, that was well written. These movies are well written. You know, it just shows you don't have to overcomplicate things to make a great fucking action film. Fast and Furious. Okay, you don't have to. We don't have to have these characters coming back to life all the time and introducing. This guy's got a son and a brother who was also at this place. Like, it doesn't have. It can leave it simple. The best action films we've had of the last 20 years have been John Wick and Mad Max Fury Road, which is the most simple storyline you'll ever see.
Very simple.
But yeah, these films are great. I guess we don't have to get into full spoilers of what happens, but it's a very, very sad ending. But I don't think it's the end. I mean, who knows, right?
Who knows with John Wick, right? And that's the thing.
Cut this man's head off, and I'll be like, he's not coming back.
Right. I need to see the decapitation.
Yeah, but I didn't thought he wasn't going to come back after he fell from 40 stories.
That's what I thought too. But he somehow does. He somehow manages it. It is open to interpretation.
Absolutely.
You know, whatever. Okay. You know, we saw
everything kind of just resets at the end.
Mhm.
You know, but Keanu Reeves, to be honest, loves these films, but
he is getting older
as well,
Yeah.
and it obviously is taking a lot out of him to do these things.
Oh my God, it's grueling on your body. Like I can't even fathom that he's still doing this at his age.
Yeah, you know? And he's not like he's really getting hit by cars, but he's getting whipped around on a line, and he's doing shit.
When accidents happen, when you do that level of choreography, people are going to accidentally hit you.
Yeah.
You're going to roll an ankle sometimes.
Well, look at the trivia. He's got all kinds of injuries, back
Mhm.
injuries and stuff through this stuff.
Right.
It happens, man. Fucking stuntmen die all the time.
Yes, they do.
Obviously they take care of their actors a little bit more. But when you see things, when guys are taking full tumbles downstairs, they're taking those falls.
Yes, they are.
It's not, they are just, they're landing it correctly. But there's a scene when when they're in the Japanese, whatever, the Continental, is some guy gets thrown down a huge flight of escalator stairs.
Yes.
He's being thrown down those stairs.
Yeah, that was wild too. That's actually what I thought.
I'm like, that guy might have died.
I was like, that stunt guy. I hope they paid him a lot.
I know,
that looked like it hurt
because he was already wearing the helmet. Because they always were. They're like, oh, in the story, he's wearing the helmet. Let's toss this guy, and he's got to do it 8 times
to get the right shot. Yeah.
So
I don't know how they do that, honestly, because that is so painful.
I know. I totally do see why they want a stunt category in the Oscars at some point.
And there needs to be.
Yeah, I think so.
Because these men and women put their life on the line, literally, and it is well worth. Well,
every other aspect in the industry is give an award that night. You got makeup, you got hair, you got special effects. I don't know why the stunt crew is out of it.
Yeah,
because they are a team. They're the ones doing the choreography, doing everything. And making sure everyone's safe as well.
And planning everything. Like, these don't just magically come together. Like, someone has to sit down and go strike for strike, movement by movement, to be able to put that in a cohesive plan, and then to be able to implement that the way that they do on screen with camera setups and everything.
For sure,
it deserves its award.
And ensure that everyone's being safe and not dying. I think the worry is that it would give bad movies Oscars, but you can give good action movies like this the award. This is a great film all around. It's getting great reviews from everyone. You don't have to give Fast and Furious also because it spent $200 million. You don't have to give that stunt crew the award. Give this stunt crew the award who's taken falls.
And there have been films that may have not been the best film, like a John Wick, but the stunt choreography deserves its award, like Extraction back in 2019.
Well, you could always give a Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
I mean, you can always give. I mean, that comes out every other year.
Plenty of movies that are decent that deserve awards in this specific category.
Yeah, so but this film, it's amazing. Go see it. I'm
It
gonna go
is.
see it again. It's a film you can keep watching.
You
and it
definitely
gets you
can,
pumped up.
yeah.
But I definitely want to go and see it again.
And I was really worried about it being essentially 3 hours. I'm like, boy, am I going to get bored
You
during
don't-
this? You don't get bored
never,
for a second.
ever.
You really don't. Like,
No.
it's top tier. Awesome.
There's
film.
you maybe go 12 minutes without an action scene. It's
Mhm.
the pacing is wild in this film.
Especially
Yeah.
considering 3 hours.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would give it the seal of approval.
As would I.
Go and
Yeah.
see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And support it too. You know, we want to see more of these types of films, these really well produced action films. Budget for this was $100 million. Came back at the box office already, $244.9 million. And that's without this week. So we'll see.
And I think that's mostly domestic too. Because I know the week it came out, it only came out in the United States first, and it crushed in the theaters its opening weekend, which is fucking awesome.
It's amazing.
It's awesome. Because we got to keep Keanu Reeves happy. Everyone knows we got to protect Keanu Reeves. Okay,
do.
he's our most important commodity
there's
right now.
There's a few of them. You know, you get your Keanu Reeves, your Brendan Frasers.
Oh,
your
your Brendan Frasers.
You got to keep these people
There's
safe.
a few people that we need as a society. We
We
lose
do.
these people.
We lose culture.
I don't know what's gonna happen to us, and I'm scared, honestly.
Yeah.
Go and see it. J-Dubs 4, absolutely loved it. Could be the best one. What do you think?
Okay, so that's hard for me because I loved 3 so much, and that final fight sequence in 3
Yeah.
was so good.
And the horses with the motorcycles
Yes.
was awesome.
So it's really hard for me, and this is actually a good thing on the side of John Wick in this franchise. It is good when fans are like, I don't know which one was my
I
favorite.
know. There's not a lot of franchises like that.
There's not.
No.
You can clearly, even in like Star Wars, I can
Yeah,
be
there's
like
a
Empire
handful.
Strikes Back.
Yeah, there's a
New
handful.
Hope.
But that first John Wick was just something else too.
Yeah.
That very first one was
Mhm.
like people were,
That premise was so
that
simple.
was supposed to be a small film. That was gonna be almost like a straight to DVD release. And
Crazy.
then they made it and like this film was fucking crushing. But yeah, it's tough for me, man.
Yeah.
John Wick 3 Parabellum was fucking awesome.
It
but
was.
this one might be my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch
With
them
Donnie
all
Yen.
again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So am I, because I don't think
Yeah.
I've watched them all to like back to back before.
Yeah.
But yeah, loved it.
All right, guys, that is our review for J-Dub 4. If you guys like what you've seen here, please be sure to smash the like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus. And until next time.
Bye.